So recently I've had a lot of clients that are adult children of narcissistic parents that have done a lot of research, right? They've learned about narcissism, they've kind of gone on their own healing journey, and they want to know if they can have a relationship with their narcissistic parent. Now, it's not my decision to tell anyone what they can or can't do. But what I wanted to do with this video was give you guys some tips for those that choose to have a relationship with their parent. And by the way, no one should judge anyone for that. Okay, this is a personal decision, and what works for some may not work for others. Okay, so I did want to put this out there for those that do want to have that relationship, just so that you can be aware of certain things so that you don't go backsliding or get sucked into a trauma bond again. So in this video, I want to talk about 5 covert ways that they can use any relationship or any contact that you give them as a way to try to suck you back into a trauma bond. And the reason they specifically want you in a trauma bond is because when you are stuck in that trauma bond, you forget all about yourself and you begin living life as if they are the sun and you revolve around them. And it can cause you to create so many bad decisions. It can cause you to have so many damaging relationships, and it can cause you to lose years of your life, not only while you're revolving around them and not living, but also in the years that it takes to undo the damage that was done. Okay, so I want to just put those covert manipulative behaviors out there so that you can be aware of them. And something I want to mention is that with each behavior I'm going to mention, there's a scale. Some parents will perform these behaviors at a level 10. Some will perform them at a level 2. The ones that are more overt are easier to detect. The ones that are covert, that's when it's really hard. That's when, the damage really gets done because you don't even realize it's happening. So for example, the first behavior I want to talk about is the fact that they will praise you and shower you with love, affection, compliments when you are doing what they want. And then they will give you the silent treatment or some form of emotional punishment when you don't. So someone that does it at a level 10, maybe they praise you, but when you're doing something that maybe you want to do that they don't approve of, they will wind up criticizing you, insulting you, really obviously making you feel bad. That would be a level 10. A level 2, 3 is the parent that praises you when you're doing what they want and simply goes silent when you're not doing what they want. And then if you ask them, are you upset with me? They will actually gaslight you and say no. They'll make you think it's all in your head. But the subconscious brain starts to notice, when I do this, mom or dad is happy. When I do this, which is what I love to do, they get upset. And when it's taking place on a subtle level, we start doing it a little bit less, and then the parent ups their love, and they're regulating us through our subconscious mind, and sometimes people don't even realize that's happening. So something to look for is just noticing. Notice what happens if you put down a boundary. Do they suddenly change in how they treat you? Notice what happens if you make a decision that they don't want you to make. Okay, maybe you choose a job and they want you to do something else for work. You're an adult and you want to take their input into consideration, but if you choose something different than they like, a healthy relationship, there's respect and there's support, even if there's a difference of opinion. So just be aware of that. Something to watch for if your narcissistic parent is starting to manipulate you is how you feel after being around them or talking to them. Okay, so ask yourself, after I'm there, do I feel good? Now, here's the thing that you have to be careful about. Sometimes our first answer might be yes. Oh, yes, I feel so good. But do your words and your actions show that. Like you might think, yes, I feel good, but you're really moody and you're feeling things and you don't even know why you're feeling them. It's a sign that something, your inner self is telling you that something is off. And this usually happens because a narcissistic parent will use words to convince you of their reality. And on a logical level, you're wanting to believe them because, why would they be saying that unless it was true? Right? We tend to think that our parents are really do have our best interests at heart, and what they're saying is truth, because if you were saying that to somebody else, you would only do it because it was true. But what happens is your inner self may be noticing a lack of congruency with that parent, where they're saying one thing, but they're doing something else. And so you're believing them logically, but your body's like, something's off. If you tend to leave a parent feeling as if you're not on the same page inside of yourself, that's something you want to watch for. It's usually a form that some kind of manipulation is taking place because they're trying to plant things in your mind, but your body's trying to let you know that all is not well. And we really have to start paying attention to our body when it comes to manipulative people, stuttering. And the reason for that is because our body reveals what's in our subconscious. So if in our subconscious we know that's manipulative behavior, our body's it's gonna show up. We're gonna get feelings that are trying to point that out to us. So rather than listening to words and putting more trust in what somebody says, listen to what your body is saying to you. Number 3 is if you start noticing that the things that were really important to you, you're doing less and less and less of, and kind of revolving around that parent, then that's a sign that you're losing connection to self again. Okay, part of narcissistic abuse is disconnection from self. You are so overly focused on the other person that you're not really able to pay attention to what's going on inside. So something that can help is really strengthening the ability to check in with yourself. Check in with how you're feeling all the time. Really work on feeling connected to who you are by asking yourself things like, what am I feeling right now? What do I need? What do I think about that? Do I really want to do that? Do I really agree with that? And really strengthen your ability to trust yourself, okay? Number 4 is if people around you start to tell you that you're changing, like they notice a personality change in you since you're having contact with this person. And this is a hard one because a manipulative parent or coworker or any relationship really, right? The manipulative person is going to want to put a wedge between you and anyone that can help you to hold on to your reality. So this is something else you can look for. Does this person tend to criticize people that are important to you in your life right now? Do they make you feel like you can't trust these people? And sometimes they do that. Remember, they can do it overtly, like outright criticizing your friends, or they can do it covertly by saying it as if they're worried about you. They're worried about you because this person, I don't know, there's something about them, and they kind of plant this weird doubt inside of you, and you begin viewing your friends in a suspicious way. And that's a way that they isolate you so that you don't have somebody that can help you to hold on to your reality. Okay, so start thinking. So evaluate how you're viewing the people that were important to you prior to allowing this relationship to continue. And the last thing that you want to look for is clarity of mind. Are you suddenly feeling confused a lot? And as if you're kind of back in a mental fog. And some of the things that you might say if you're feeling that are, so, my parents said this, but, is that really wrong? Is that really abusive? Or maybe I'm being too sensitive. Maybe I'm looking at this the wrong way. Anytime you have a hard time clearly identifying what is healthy behavior and what isn't healthy behavior, it's usually a sign of gaslighting, and it's a sign that you're being manipulative. And it's a sign that you're being manipulated. Okay, so again, Going back to what I said in the beginning of this video, no one can tell anyone that they should or shouldn't be in a relationship with anybody. Especially if you're an adult, that's a decision that only you can make. However, you do want to be very much aware of the signs not in the other person. I said that wrong. You want to be aware of the signs in the other person, but you don't want to exclude the signs in you that would be giving you evidence that something is off. Okay, we don't want to be so externally focused that we lose touch with ourselves again. So be mindful, strengthen yourself. Remember that the more you're you, if somebody is toxic, the more upset they're going to be. That's their choice. It's not your responsibility to sacrifice self so that they're happy. And just be careful, okay? Just be careful and stay true to you.